What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Listen up. This is a call to action. This is a meeting of real Pan-Africans, because the real Prince of Pan-African has something to say to the diaspora, to the real Pan-Africans. Now, I understand we have black people in the diaspora that's participating in the unification of the global African people. And I understand that there are people who don't know what Pan-Africanism is really doing, and they think that Africans are not participating in Pan-Africanism. The reason why these people think that Africans are not participating in Pan-Africanism is because they don't look for Pan-African Africans. They get all their information based off Twitter, Instagram, and social media with people who have cameras that talk and speak on behalf of groups that they're not really a part of, okay? But in the real world, there's a real battle happening, right? Aside from all the side shows and side videos and side debates that we have, and there's a real Pan-African battle for African unity and to control of our resources and our agencies around the world. And we have real Pan-Africans that's putting their lives on the line to see this future through, right? You have people who are in the militaries, you have people who are in government, you have people who are in the private sector, people in the business sector, people in all sectors of the world doing their part within their institution to turn or shift energy and resources towards African people, okay? And in order for us to do that, we have to do this in an African way, not a white Western way. We have a lot of so-called fake Pan-Africans and pro-blacks who want liberation, but they want to use the white structures of government to get that liberation. They only understand white control, white government, white perspectives, and they only have a white view on social and political structures and procedures, right? These people, not all of them are woke. Some of them are still waking up, right? But there are some who are woke and some who are actually on the battlefield. You have those on the stands who are watching and hissing and talking shit and making bad comments and being negative from the stands, but they're not participating players. You got some on the field that say they want to play, but they're not doing anything. They're sitting on the bench. And then you got others who are actually playing, right? We need to do a better idea of focusing on who is actually playing. Rappers and entertainers are not our leaders. They're not our thought leaders. They are simply the entertainment. Do you understand? If they rap and sing, they are simply the entertainment, and they're also the tools used by the white power structure to influence highly influenceable African Americans and African diasporas who look up to their local heroes, which are the ones who they see most, the celebrity, the person that's celebrated for being known more because of their achievements, whether it be because they have a beautiful voice, because they can rhyme, because they can pretend to be somebody else on the screen for 2.5 hours, actors, or they can play a sport. All these superficial entertainment type things have superficially elevated these people who just have a specific talent to pretend to be something that they're not for the entertainment value of the masses. We have misunderstood that talent for being intellectual talent or Pan-African talent or leadership talent. A lot of these people are not leaders. They're just in the business of making money for themselves, and they will follow the computer algorithm or the global algorithm in order to maintain their financial viability in this world. But without further ado, there's a message from the real Prince of Pan-Africanism. I would dare call him the King of Pan-Africanism, but it's not my place to crown him, and I don't think he, as a humble individual, would like to be crowned. But as a true warrior who knows what it is to strap up with your boys and go to war with somebody else who know you coming, a true warrior myself can recognize a true warrior. Real recognize real. And I recognize real in the real Prince of Pan-Africanism, who soon, I believe, will be crowned King of Pan-Africanism, along with the various other kings and emperors and kingmakers of Pan-Africanism that we have on the continent, fighting in every one of their countries, in their politics, in their social and economic settings, in their business settings. This is the message of the century for real Pan-Africans that are seriously on the battlefield, fighting a good fight, and have enough internal morals and have integrity to stay true and to die on their shield of Pan-Africanism, whether they make it to the promised land or not. Understand that we as Pan-Africans are just a drop. We're just a drop in the ocean of this movement. and all small little contributions is all that's necessary to continue to move African people forward. But anyway, without further ado, listen to the real Prince of Pan-Africanism, because he has a message for the entire African continent, the entire African diaspora, including African Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos. Open your mind and comprehend these not so complicated words that the Prince of Pan-Africanism is talking right now, so that you can absorb the love and you can absorb the unity coming out of this black brother, this black man who is showing what it is to be a true, powerful, strong black man and actually cares about his people, his community, and global Africans overall, and is not afraid to do it the African way, is not afraid to go against the white Western system that's so solidified within this world that even people who call themselves pro-black and Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africans, can't detach themselves from it in order to gain revolution for their people. Anyway, without further ado, this Afro Think Tank, learn some, teach some, I'm out.
Members of the various SA governments, dear participants in the first sleep of SA heads of state, good morning. It was a great pleasure and an honor to be here today. A blessed date, a memorable date, July 6, 2024, here in Niamey. First of all, let us give thanks to God who made this day possible. We thank him for everything he has done for us until today, and everything he will do for the people of the AES. Please allow me also to pay tribute to the Nigerian people, these people who have suffered so much since the advent of the CNSP, and who continue to remain standing. Thank you to the Nigerians who gave us a warm welcome yesterday when we set foot on the soil of our homeland here. You are more than friends, you are more than neighbors, you are our brothers, you are our sisters. Because fraternity goes beyond friendship or neighborhood. We have the same blood flowing through our veins. In our veins runs the blood of these valiant warriors who fought and who reserved these lands that we call Mali, Burkina, and Niger. In our veins runs the blood of these valiant warriors who helped the whole world get rid of Nazism and many other scourges. In our veins runs the blood of these valiant warriors who were deported from Africa to Europe, America, Asia, or whatever, and who helped build these states during slavery. In our veins flows the blood of worthy men, of robust men, of capable men. And for this, let us be proud and thank you for being a national of the AES. Africa, this continent which has suffered so much and which continues to suffer because of the imperialists. These imperialists have only one cliché in mind: Africa is the empire of slaves. This is how they see Africa. For them, Africans belong to them. Our land belongs to them. Our basements belong to them. They have never been able to change software until today. It's deplorable. But how does he do it? It is unfortunately since the 1960s that these 6,000 acres of independence were given to Africa. They just placed local valleys at the head, according to them, of their sub-prefecture to be able to continue to supply them. These local valleys that we are going to describe today as living room slaves have no other guide than to seek to live like the master, to satisfy the master, and to do everything that the master dictates. They steal, they plunder our states, take everything to the master, and their wealth is kept with the master. They do everything to live like their master and always satisfy him. When the master commands, they execute. Do you know who these parlor slaves are? We will explain to you what it is. These are individuals who have no dignity, who have no morals, who have no personality. But the slave master always knew how to identify these individuals. They are always ready to betray their brother to satisfy the master. They have betrayed us since independence, and others continue to betray us until today for the benefit of their master. These individuals always continue against all odds to plunder Africa, to help the master to plunder Africa. They like to say it every year. In their economic survey, Burkina is the poorest country, Mali is the poorest country, Niger is the poorest country. We are ranked among the last. All right, if we are as poor as they say, but when the time came to take responsibility, we asked these masters to leave the place. Why don't they want to leave? Because we take the case of Niger. For more than 40 years, certain countries have exploited uranium to produce energy at home. From Ottawa to Paris, the streets are illuminated. It's light. But in Niger, it's darkness. Security that served us. When you go to our states, our soils are drilled all over to search for precious metals such as gold. But often, there is not even the slightest accessible road to reach areas where they exploit some basic social services. This is why we decided to revolt and take the destiny of our countries into our own hands. There are many other examples, but when we decided this, we were approached by some parlor slaves to give us their master's message, because they had created this sort of polymer chain that sticks up at the head of our states to serve them. And we have come to break the chain, and it's inconceivable for them. They therefore approached us and asked us to join the ranks to form part of the elite who must lead Africa, because they have a trained and formatted elite who must follow, who are embedded in this chain. We refused to join their ranks, and from then on, hostilities began. They have led several mercenaries, trainers, and agents into our areas who have descended into the Sahel to hope to carry out barbaric, cowardly attacks against our populations, to hope to revolt them. In addition to these attacks on the ground, communicational attacks, manipulation, disinformation, etc., are full in their souls. But the people of the Sahel have understood, and we will never be able to manipulate them again. They know where they come from, they know what they are doing, and they know where they are going. We are not going to allow this anymore. People are awake, and people are fighting today, not for ourselves, but for generations to come. And thank you all for the fight that is being fought. It never makes us cry. We are not going to tremble. We will face. We will fight for real independence, for our freedom. Because to scare the people of the AES, these individuals only have 3 terms in their mouths: democracy, freedom, human rights. Of course, their local values are only elected in a democratic process, free and transparent to, according to them, their values. What could be more normal that people want to impose this on us because they are the ones who make the rules, all right? We decided to take responsibility for ourselves. This is why on May 26, 2023, when Niger decided to turn the page, the slaves of Salon and their masters mounted the high horse. They put their local values forward and decided to wage war against the Nigerian people. We therefore said, whoever dares to attack Niger, we will face, because we will wage a merciless war until the last drop of blood for anyone who dares to attack our states. This word, this decision that we had yesterday, is relevant today and will be relevant tomorrow and forever. Thus, the AES was born on September 16, 2023, in a mutual defense architecture. But we found it necessary to extend and enlarge the AES architecture. What brings us together today must allow us to move into other areas in addition to defense, notably finance and the economy, infrastructure, health, education. Anyway, so on. I therefore hope that this moment will be a story for us that we will write for the AES, but especially for Africa and for the whole world. May God enlighten each and every one of us. May God inspire us in these tasks entrusted to us, and above all that, when we carry out all our work, may we have only one thing in mind: the supreme interest of our populations. On this, we pray once again to the good God that He accompanies us all in our various tasks, that He protects our fighters who, thanks to them, allow us to sit here and exchange around the future of our states. So be grateful once again, Nigerian people. Be united and united, people of the AES. Thanks. Comrades, members of the various SA governments, dear participants in the first